All right? So I got all of my tattoos underneath the false pretense that it would allow me to no longer feel a lower self about myself. It was a problem. Not because I was tough or I was bad. I can tell you every tattoo that I got and the meaning of it. Every single one. But it was because I didn't have a sense of worth. I felt like that would define me. I felt like it would make me feel better. But all it ended up doing or was going to do was draw the attention of my trauma. That's all it was going to do. So actually what I thought was going to help me kill my low self-esteem, it actually was going to do the opposite. Because people were going to be drawn to me for reasons that I didn't even get these for. Misrepresentation. Now, by the grace of God, because of the world that we live in, and we live in a visual world, right? We live in a world where they look, they see, and they evaluate before anything happens. So the youth, when they see my tattoos, it's a conversation. Oh man, I like your tattoos. Oh man, what's that on your leg? Oh, it opens the door. I'm so sorry, it's so unprofessional. I'm so sorry. It opens the door to conversation. Because they're drawn to it. Oh man, that must have hurt. Oh man. What's your name, man? And the conversation goes from there. Because automatically, I can identify. I was telling somebody today that this room is different. I was incarcerated for 12 years. So for 12 years, there was no physical touch. For 12 years, I had to pay attention to body language, eye contact, the way you move, how you engaged in conversation, the way you stepped, how you looked. Because every one of those situations for 12 years, it became my normal. I could read a room before I go in it. My life depended on evaluating things that way. I could talk to somebody on the phone right now, stranger in today, and I can know exactly what happened in your day. Because for 12 years, the cadence of your voice, I had to determine everything. I could tell when you was tired. I could tell when the kids done got on your nerves. I could tell when work was tough. I could tell everything. And the reason why I had to pick that sense up because I had to know when the right time was to ask for $40. Had to make sure it was not a stressful day. Okay, I could get a yes if that was the case. If I asked on any other day, it was an automatic no. But your senses heighten when you're in a position where other senses are gone. When you're released from prison, don't use that as a form of manipulation. Use it as a navigation to help you get to where you're trying to go. If you harnessed it right, you'll be able to get exactly where you need to go. Because you'll be able to read things. As much as people think in the world that they keep their stuff bottled up inside, I've talked to plenty of organizations, plenty of people that are like, yeah, you know, I don't let people know how I feel. And I'm like, I see it all over you. Because sometimes when you are so accustomed to a certain thing, you actually can help people. You know, and you can be able to see things that they don't even see themselves. Next slide. So now what I do is with my program, this is a school in South Carolina. I go to school. I just had the beautiful, beautiful privilege to speak at Tuskegee HBCU. Oh, that was a dream of mine. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm speaking here. This is crazy. So I'm there and I'm speaking at UNCC. My book, The 30-Day Journey from Prison to Spiritual Peace, is in the archive library at UNC Chapel Hill. Microsoft is one of my partners. We just had a breakthrough. Ally Financial is one of my partners. Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office is one of my partners. We have the only organization going into jails right now with men and women, 80% output, 80%, which means that those that are coming home are not going back. The national average for recidivism in Charlotte, North Carolina, well, nationally, is 44%. 44% nationally. In Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, it's 29%. Because we're making sure that they have everything they need before. Credit is one of the key things to recidivism. If you have bad credit, what can't you do? What are the 3 things that you need? Shelter, transportation, clothing. Credit answers all 3 of those. All 3 of them. So my program, we do those things. We team up with organizations like here in Virginia. I was so happy to come out here after Miss Ingrid had told me about just the different things that are battling this area. And I just was like, wow, like, we got to figure out how to work together. We have to figure out how to do those things. One of those things is being able to come out here and speak with you guys. You know, to build that relationship, build that rapport, to understand what it is, to understand that there is somebody that looks like you, that's been through what you've been through, and that you can overcome it, right? But not just with words, but with action, right? I'm accessible to everybody in here, right? I'm not the type of person where it's like, as soon as I drop the mic, it's like, okay, I'll see you later. All right, I go. Nah. Like, I'm gonna talk with you. I'm gonna build with you. I'll give you my number. You can call me. That's what type of person I am. Right? And please know, I know nonsense from real, just like you do. Alright? So, I'm very direct. I'm gonna speak to you. I'm gonna speak to your situation. But I know when you ain't really right, when you ain't about what you talk about. Alright? So make sure before you pick up that phone and call, you be ready. Because I've been in your shoes, and I know every avenue. Because either I used them, or I done already overcame. But I'm here for you guys in that capacity, in any shape, form. If it's even if it's just a talk, like, yo, bro, I'm going through, I'm here. All right? This is me dealing with the youth in South Carolina. Encouraging those youth. Some of those were very underprivileged. Some of those were challenged youth as well. But my little man's over here in a corner, he still be calling me like, yo, Josh, what's up, man? I just did this, and I did this, and I did this, man. I'm doing it. And I said, man, that's what's up. You know, so he still calls me now. He's in South Carolina. I actually had got his mom to get him some shoes. He loved these shoes. And I ended up getting them for him, and he just went crazy. He's like, I don't let nobody touch him. I put him up. I'm like, okay, cool, man. Next slide. Now, when I play this, I want you guys to listen to this with your spirit. Listen deeply with what it is. I just became an international author and speaker. I just came back from Denmark. What was that? 2 months ago? 3 months ago? 4 months ago? Man. About 4? Probably about 3 months ago. 3 or 4 months ago, I came back from Denmark. I had a book signing there in Denmark, and it was my first time out the country. Like my first time I had a passport. I'm sitting here tripping. I'm just like, yo, I got a passport. I'm showing people who got a passport, I got a passport. They're like, bruh, it's just a passport. I'm like, no, this is a passport. They like, okay, all right. They probably walk away like, he's tripping. But it's hard to understand when you come from where I come from and you like, yo, this is possible? Like, I got a passport? I could go out, like, I could really get on a plane and go out the country. And when I was in Denmark, because Denmark is the safest place in the world. Had no clue. The safest place in the world. The stuff we're trying to do with incarcerated individuals, oh, they light years ahead. They don't even put them in prisons. They put them in like college places. They put them in college places. They give them jobs. The only thing that they have to do from a punishment standpoint is be in that area. Teach them skills, trades. When they get out, they pay for their health care. I said, you gotta be kidding me. They do what? They pay for their entire community's health care. Wow. They pay them to go to college. I said, a place like this exists? Pesticides, all of those things that are here don't even exist there. I did not see one bug. And most of their restaurants are outside. I didn't see one bug. I asked them, I'm like, do y'all spray? They said, spray? No, that's illegal here. I'm like, what? No fats, no nothing. They give you portioned. I'm like, yo, can I get a plate? They're like, it's right there. It's a small plate. But it was so clean. You seen people riding bikes. Energy efficient. Like the stuff you see on movies, that's how it was. And I was like, this is remarkable. So it can be done. So I say that to say that some of the things that people may think is far-fetched for you is not far-fetched. What you have deep inside of each one of you, you can achieve it. I have a trucking company. I got a 6-figure trucking company. Gotta add that in there. Legally. Yeah, legally. That feels good even better. But a trucking company, right? And I just recently went on a military base. I just recently came back from Canada. Now, if y'all know about Canada's restrictions, Canada doesn't even let felons in. I have pictures of everywhere me in Canada, delivering a load, going to Canada. So don't let any restriction or what you hear people say, oh, you can't do that, you a felon, or you can't. I'm proof. I did nothing special other than just not accept no. I'm not accepting it. I'm gonna do what needs to be taken. I'm gonna do what needs to be done to get the yes that I need. But I want you to listen to this with your spirit. You can go ahead and play it.
It's easy to put people in boxes. There's us, and there's them. The high earners, and those just getting by. Those we trust, and those we try to avoid. There's the new Danes, and those who've always been here. The people from the countryside, and those who've never seen a cow. The religious, and the self-confident. There are those we share something with, and those we don't share anything with.
Velkommen. Jeg kommer til at stille jer nogle spørgsmål i dag. Nogle af dem kan godt være lidt personlige, men jeg håber, I vil svare ærligt på dem. Hvem herinde i rummet var klassens klovn? Hvem er bonusforældre?
And then suddenly, there's us. We who believe in life after death. We who've seen UFOs. And all of us who love to dance. We who've been bullied. And we who've bullied others. And then there's us, The lucky ones who've had sex this past week. We who are broken-hearted. We who are madly in love. We who feel lonely. We who are bisexual. And we who acknowledge the courage of others. We who have found the meaning of life. And we who have saved lives. And then there's all of us who just love Denmark. So maybe there's more that brings us together than we think. TV2 Denmark. All that we share.
So when I left Denmark, I saw that. I said, I gotta have that. Y'all gotta give me that. That blew my mind. I was just like, wow. The way they depicted that was amazing. So in correlation to that, I'm standing up here by myself, right? And many might look at what I've done as great accomplishments, right? And I'm grateful, I'm truly grateful for all that God has blessed me with. Because I do know that the road that I took is not always the common road to take. It's not always the easy road to take, because there's a lot of challenges and different things that come up against you to reach this point. This point here was not easy. It took some work. But I don't like standing by myself. I just don't. My team will tell you, I have my organization, I have a board where I'm not the boss, they're actually the bosses. You're dealing with 6 other bosses in their own right. And I just was alone for so long that being alone isn't completion for me. And it's not a success for me to be the only one, right? It's kind of selfish to be the only one, for you to have the blueprint on how to come out and then you're the only one. I just don't think that that's fair. So everybody who's been incarcerated, I want you to come up here with me. Everybody who's had somebody who has been incarcerated, I want you to come up here with me. Or know somebody who's been incarcerated, I want you to come up here with me. Don't worry about it, there's enough room. I examined it from the beginning. Last but not least, everybody who has a heart for what has been said today, I want you to come up here.
car, I'm just working.
No, you're fine. So, the reason why I just did that is because as I am not alone, none of you guys are, we all do not have as much separation and differences, feelings, that we might think. On a day-to-day basis, sometimes we seem like we're so different from each other. But when people's egos and prides and their hearts are just here, you realize that we got a whole lot more in common than what we honestly think. So no matter what room you step in, you ain't alone. No matter what change you're trying to make, you're not alone. And I asked you guys to come up here and stand with me because I just wanted to let you guys know that in this progression and fight that we have of differences of so much, I'm here too. And I done kicked down some pretty good doors. So it's not gonna be as hard as for you to get in as you might think. You just gotta utilize the people around you. And this is also a notice for everybody who's standing up here. A notice of accountability. Because they need to know that they're fighting with you. And that you're fighting with them in some of those most toughest times. So collectively, we stand together. Collectively, we can do a lot. Thank you guys, and I love you all.